The Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Yeah, it was a good time. A lot of hard hitting. Definitely going to feel this in the morning.
So tell me a little bit about it. We got tons of stuff to get through the course of the show. Brandon Thomas calling in from England right now. Just back from the track. What track were you at?
The Kings Lynn Speedway. It's out east of London, about an hour and a half.
Okay. And you said the track was plenty fast, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty well packed clay. They watered a little bit, but the class that Andrew got me into is basically the equivalent to probably like a 2-ton truck. And you're doing, 30, 40 mile an hour around that track hitting people. So anybody's fair game when you're doing laps.
It reminds me of the early days of the Minnesota trucks. We went to Winter Slam way back when.
Yeah, I usually run trucks, and they hit just as hard, but the speeds aren't as fast either.
So, again, episode number 287 on deck here. We're talking with Brandon Thomas about running banger racing. He's just back from the track out there in England. We're going to be talking with Patrick Dellis in a little bit about trying to convince him to go to Cras in the Valley down there in Woodstock, Virginia, or down in the Shenandoah Valley. And then we're going to be talking with Justin Smith as well. Jeremy Spanbaugh coming away with the win over the course of the weekend. Congratulations out to him. Congratulations to Ron McClung picking up a win as well. Brandon made reference to Andrew. He's talking about Andrew Ship and Chris Ship. I saw those guys over there. They've come to Minnesota a couple different times. You're from St. Peter, so you've had the chance to sort of knock around with them a little bit, not exclusively at Winter Slam, but including thereof. So how did this whole thing come together where we've got this exchange now going back and forth across the Atlantic Ocean?
Yeah, this all started about a year ago when Andrew come back, and we kind of messaged back and forth over the internet for a while, and he threw the opportunity out to me, and I'm not going to decline it.
Right.
So I definitely took that and flew over last Thursday and spent a couple days over here watching a couple other tracks that they run at, and then today was the big day for Derby. And
is it as insane and intense as it looks in the videos? I mean, obviously the highlight reels are designed to be
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's anything and everything that the videos show online. The guys in the trucks or the vans, they're allowed like a 1-inch steel plate in front of the engine with kickers.
Okay. So
you just go to town at the front end of that thing.
So, one of the pictures that you had shared online was describe the vehicles that you were in as Sherpas. What's that all about?
They're basically like a delivery van over here.
Okay.
Or like a delivery truck.
Right.
So that's what they call them over here, but it's the equivalent to like a straight truck like we got over in the States.
I mean, what's the frame like on those?
They're probably, I think they're probably 8 inches tall. And they're dual rear ends, 1.5 ton rear ends in them. And they hit good.
So,
definitely.
When you got there, you got to see it up close and personal for the first time. What started going through your mind along the lines of what you've gotten yourself into?
Yeah, it was a lot to take in the first day, but I mean, these guys got a good thing going. They all got flatbed trucks with big crane lifts on them, and they just lift them right off on the side of the truck. And I mean, it's a lot to take in. They sure weren't easy on me, but I didn't expect that. So definitely fun.
I see a picture here of some red and black cars getting loaded up, and then you've also got some blue cars that are being loaded up, kind of stacked like a house of cards on the back of one of those flatbeds. Whose cars are they?
That was a couple of Andrew's friends, okay. Andrew and Chris's friends. They were loading up after the event on, I believe it was Saturday night. And that would have been at a track about 50 miles west of where we're at today.
This is just so crazy. Chuck Bowman from here in Seneca County is talking about making the trip over next year, do a little bit of racing as well. We had Mark Cossey.
We were kind of talking about that too. So,
oh, yeah?
Yeah, we were talking about that. Chris had mentioned to me about that. He must have talked to him online too. So.
Yeah, Charles Bowman and Mark Cossey got together when they were out here with Spinning Wheels in New York, and they had the chance to run together a little bit out here. And now Charles is going to go over there. And of all the people that were going to be going to England, I never thought it was going to be Chuck Bowman, the Hillbilly Hammer. So it's really cool. I'm excited for him, and I mean, just this whole experience. This has got to be well beyond anything you imagined.
Yeah, I never thought in a million years I'd be over in England running derbies, but here we are.
What else have you got planned? You got your travel schedule?
Once I get back home, it's 100% for Blizzard Bash. Running trucks down there again for the first time. They switched up the rules a little bit, so we're going to head down there and then hopefully get in for Las Vegas in March.
You got a busy fall ahead of you if you're trying to catch both of those.
Yeah, I know. I think we can make it, though.
This is just cycling through some of the pictures, catching a little bit of video on Brandon Thomas's Facebook feed, and it's a little challenging to get it scaled up here as we're talking. So, was there a particular hit or anything that genuinely got your attention?
Well, yeah, because over here you'll run 3 heats.
Right.
So the first heat, I was doing pretty good. I was out front, and then the last lap, I tried shooting a gap in the trucks, and they closed the gap on me, and I got stuffed in there, and then somebody come from down the straightaway and got me right in the back end at full speed. So that was the one I made my ears ring.
How do the hits and the impacts compare to what you're used to at home? At home the tracks they're wet down, they're a little bit glazed over. You're not getting quite the same amount of grip as what you're getting on a prepared racetrack.
Yeah, the hits are equally as hard. It's just the speed is incredible over here.
Did you find yourself lifting off the throttle at all?
I didn't try.
You didn't try.
I was told by Andrew and Chris, don't lift. So
really,
he said if you get somebody sideways on the track, he said drive through them. So that's what everybody does over here. If you get sideways in the track, you're a sitting duck.
Are they crazier than some of the extreme builders that we have here?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that, but yeah, they're about on the same lines as everybody else. You got to be somewhat crazy to do this anyway, right?
I suppose there's got to be a touch of that crazy in there somewhere. I can't really just drive through them when you're in. I guess having the opportunity to see the vehicles in person, you're knowing a little bit more what they have to offer. But just looking at some of the pictures that you had online, it didn't appear that there was a whole lot behind you in terms of roll cages and gas tank protectors and stuff like that. Where if you get sideways on the track at Blizzard Bash and you try to drive through somebody, you're just gonna mess up the nose of your car on their door bars. You do that in the stock derby with like the farm trucks or something like we talked about last week. You're just going through a bedside and up over the back end. Not really anything crazy in terms of a T-bone accident.
If they get you sideways in the track, they basically rip off the whole back end behind the cage. They'll drive right over the top of you and right through you and rip the whole back end off on the way by.
What else did you see run out there? We were talking with Mark a couple weeks back when Mark was out here. He said that periodically you do see American-made V8s in some of the more modified classes versus some of the more
they got a form of like our wing sprint cars over here.
Yeah, I saw the video of that on the page as well.
Yeah, they run those over here, and then they got some. What do you want to call it? Like it'd be like a form of our just bone stock, like stock car dirt track racing.
Right. Yep.
So they have that when we went and watched them the other night. They had that kind of mixed in with the banger racing. And the banger racing was like the finale for everything.
Did you guys do a derby in the more traditional sense of demolition derby, like what you see here at the end of the show, or was there nothing left?
Yeah, the last heat they ran 12 laps, and then you're allowed to hit anybody in those 12 laps,
right?
Whatever you feel, and then at the end of the 12 laps they wave the checkered, and then when you come back around they wave the green flag again, and then that's the start of the demolition derby.
Wow.
So then you can turn around, go opposite way on the track and nose up on somebody, and so it's kind of a free-for-all right at the end.
Any good nose-up shots happen when you're out there?
Yeah, there was a few of them.
None of them with you?
Sounds like the old-school mod trucks is what it sounded like.
Yeah? That's awesome. So when you going back, you already got to be thinking about the chance to come back there and run a little bit more. You're out there since Thursday, and here it is Monday already.
Yeah, they already asked me when we got back if I'm coming back, and I told them I'm not going to say no. So
right.
We'll just have to. They run some 4-wheel drive SUVs in the what do you want to call it? Probably early spring. So maybe we'll look into that.
That seems insane.
Yeah, and it's 4-wheel drive. They don't take the 4-wheel drive out of them. So.
Whoa, that's intense. Do they have anything? And I know we asked Mark this last time, and I can't remember the answer. Did you come across any conversation about races happening on asphalt besides being on dirt?
Yeah, they have one. We never get to that track, but yeah, they have one track that they do it on. I believe it's a couple times a year. Oof. They kind of do the same thing on it.
That's crazy.
And from what I heard, they kind of what they do is kind of wet the asphalt down.
Mm-hmm.
So then it slicks it up a little bit, but it's still got to be fast.
Yeah, it's got to be incredibly fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're doing the same thing on that.
So a couple different just logistical things. You had to get used to it. Do you follow oval track racing at all at home?
Yeah, a little bit.
Was it weird seeing everybody going the wrong way?
Going the wrong way, sitting on the wrong side, yeah.
We sound very touristy right now.
And it was, all the vans and trucks over here are stick shift diesels here.
Right.
Sitting on the right, trying to shift and all that good stuff.
Were you laughing at yourself?
Yeah, trying not to. I was more or less looking in the mirror behind me to make sure nobody was driving me into the wall.
What are the walls made out of? Are they just concrete blocks, or is it all poured and formed?
The one track we were on, went and watched were like some concrete blocks, and then the other one they just had some tires piled in.
Oh, really?
And the one that we ran on today was probably 6-foot-high steel sheeting the whole way around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just run off the steel sheeting all the way around the corner if you have to.
That's cool. Was there anything that you picked up in terms of what they were doing over there that you can apply to your trucks at home?
Yeah, minus the kickers and the big steel plate in front of the radiator. Not much, a little anything. Maybe some driving technique.
Yeah. How about from your truck at home? Anything that you could share with them that helped make their vehicles hold up better?
Yeah, we were already talking about some cage stuff and a couple different things you might want to think about doing to those over here. So.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, because they're not allowed to do a whole lot to them over here.
Well, the thing that's crazy is they're not allowed to do anything to them, but they're allowed to put kickers on the front and then all that extra sheet metal or all the extra plate steel in front of the radiator. It seems like they're doing an awful lot up front.
Yeah, you don't wreck the truck in the front. The back will be completely gone, and it's just the cage and the seat that you're sitting on, and then the front plate's still there.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, the videos online are 100% true.
So you're getting ready for Blizzard Bash, and you're going to be running the trucks out there in Topeka, and then what's your game plan for Las Vegas?
I think, I don't think we can get registered until December, so we'll head out there in March, hopefully.
Yeah. Looking to drive cars then, or looking to try and get your trucks there?
Yeah, I got a pretty clean Mopar I'll probably bring out there.
Perfect. I like the sounds of that.
That's all I got, so that's what I'm bringing.
How's everything been up there in Minnesota anyway? For you and for your season?
Not too bad. We just got done with my summer shows and got through all that stuff, so it's been a busy month of August. I had 4 shows at the beginning of August in 2 weeks, and then the one show in June, and I think we hammered out about 4 or 5 Mopars out of the shop this summer, so
wow,
it's been a busy summer.
That's it sounds it. How were the shows that you put on this summer? Mostly it was, if I'm remembering right, it was mostly county fair stuff in and around St. Peter, right?
Yeah, I had Spring and Destruction in June. I think I ended up with I had 100 cars registered for that, and then the county fair in St. Peter, I finally got over the 200. I ended up with 204 cars for that show, so
nice.
That was a big one.
Are you finding that you're starting to get ahead of some of the builder's dilemma, as it were, the way that it seems like there's this big push to go with the mod side of things, and then there's the big push to go with the stock side of things, and everybody keeps bouncing back and forth between what they want to do, and that's why the car counts are down, and that's why the car counts are up. And I mean, 200 cars is a pretty respectable number.
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, basically, we listen to the guys that are coming and kind of switch some stuff up for what they want, and we sit down after the fair's all done and figure that out. And you got to listen to the drivers that are coming. If they want something changed that's going to help them and possibly get more guys to come, you got to do what you can do to please them, I guess.
What are your drivers asking for?
I know there's been a big push in the bell trucks up here for aluminum altar bells. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing because we're only allowed to run stock transmissions right now, and everybody's blowing bell housings apart. So we're looking at going to that, and maybe a little bit of a cross member in the older trucks, because the Super Duties are starting to dominate on these old trucks. So right. The guys with the old trucks want something. So we'll see where that goes in a couple weeks. We'll get something figured out before Blizzard Bash.
Nice. So you'll have all your rules and everything in place so people can build through the course of the winter and get everything together. You're going to be running at Blizzard Bash in the trucks. What are you building for that?
Building a 58 Ford, 3/4 ton. So
nice.
We'll see how she does.
For sure. Well, we're going to be definitely looking forward to seeing you down there. When do you fly back home?
We fly out Wednesday morning, so we'll be back home about 8-hour flight, so we'll be back home late day Wednesday.
Sweet. Well, travel safe. Did you did you suffer any jet lag when you got out there? Because what time is it there now in England right now?
It's about 11:30.
Oh, it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's about 6 hours ahead.
Gotcha.
Well, 5 hours from you, yeah.
Sure. So you got an 8-hour flight home, and after that, all the attention goes on the Blizzard Bash car, and then after that, you've got your rules meeting, and then you start planning. Then you start planning for Las Vegas in March, man. It's the season never stops, does it?
Winter Slam in there too.
What's that?
We'll probably throw Winter Slam in there too. So
right, is that something that you're going to build something fresh for, or are you going to bring what's left of the Blizzard Bash truck?
We'll see what Blizzard Bash holds for me, but I got a fresh one sitting at home already built, so we'll probably lean towards that one. But if the truck's good from Blizzard Bash, we might just use that one too. So,
did you travel alone out there?
No, I brought a friend with me out here.
Gotcha.
So he actually is one of my sponsors for the car out here. So
nice. Well, that's awesome. I hope you had as much fun as it sounds. It sounds like it was a great time, and the ships are great people. You know, had a chance to meet them a couple years ago. They're absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I can't thank them guys enough.
And then you're going to be back out there this spring, too, for some unknown reason. You're going to think that it's a good idea to get into 4x4s. You're crazy there, but I suppose, like you said, you got to have a little touch of crazy to like it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see what they can hammer out over here, and we'll get some details together. So I'm not going to say it's my last trip out here.
Is there any conversation about Andrew coming back this year to Minnesota for any one of your shows or any of the shows you're going to be running in?
Yeah, he actually come back in June, and then he flew back on the 7th of August, and he was over in St. Peter till the 18th. So he came and watched the fair show, and then he actually ran a compact at my other fair show a week after.
Yeah.
And then I think he ran out to Derek Critlow's place too in between there and ran a compact. So he's been busy also the month of August.
No kidding. It's only going to get busier the more this back and forth thing keeps up. You guys are going to single-handedly get airline rates lowered because you're going back and forth so frequently.
Yeah, can only hope it gets cheaper the second time.
Awesome. Well, is there anybody else that you want to make mention of? Sponsors, people that helped on the car, helped get you out there, anything like that?
Just thanks to Andrew and Chris Ship for getting me out here. Vantage Point Range for sponsoring the car, and then I got to thank my wife for letting me fly out here for a few days as she holds the fort down.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you came out of it relatively unscathed, and I'm a little concerned for your well-being since you've been now officially bitten by the banger racing bug, and you're going to be out there again doing the 4x4s. Nonetheless, we look forward to catching up with you in November for sure.
All right. Sounds good, Chris.
Brandon, I appreciate you coming on, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot.
We'll see you now. There goes Brandon Thomas. Got to drive some banger. He drove a Sherpa. It's like a delivery van. The pictures of it that we put up, it looked similar to like the Ford, not the Econoline Fords, but those new delivery hybrid things that they got. They're sort of similar to that. The weird deal is that all of these things they're diesel, which is crazy to me. But hey, it is what it is. For some reason, this thing just has no level tonight. I can't get this to punch up for anything, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe we'll try that. Just throw all the gain at it that we can, and we'll go from there. So apologize if this has been quiet. Fiddling with it. We're going to get Brandon Thomas, or excuse me, we just talked to Brandon. We're going to get Justin Smith on the line next to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on down in his neck of the woods. First, before we go that route, we'll take a look at this here. Blizzard Bash coming up around the corner. We talked a little bit about Blizzard Bash with the truck event that Brandon is going to go be part of. November the 6th, the heat draws from 7 to 10 o'clock at the Kansas Expo Center, Topeka, Kansas. The 7th of November is the opening round of qualifying for both the national and the qualifying teams, the first round. On November the 8th, national and qualifying team second round of action. And then November the 9th will be the rest of the teams getting into the action. The compact and limited weld team heats are on board. All the Team B features, the trucks, and the limited weld one and done's all part of that card on November the 9th, and then Championship Sunday comes around with all the Team A mains on November the 10th. Blizzard Bash 2019, online for additional details, blizzardbash.com. Trying to get a hold of Justin Smith. Have we got you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. Perfect. And so we'll shift gears now back to Justin Smith. Justin's on the line here telling us a little bit about some of the stuff that is forthcoming down in the Shenandoah Valley. What have you been up to, Justin?
Oh, not much. Just been trying to get together this terrible derby at the Page Valley Fair. We had 15 kids show up this year. It was a little bit lower than last year because we got a bunch of rain down here. I mean, it was a muddy mess for the Page Valley Fair this weekend.
Hey.
We had 15 kids. It was a pretty decent turnout for our third year. And then for the derby for the Page Valley Fair, they had three heats of full-size stock. And for the heats, the boys from Shenandoah County, they swept the heat. And then in the feature, they had Jake Knight. He finished first in the feature. And then you had Matthew Kingery second and Josh Wilkins third for the feature. And then for the six-cylinder cars, the six-cylinder long size, you had Kevin Bundy from Leary, Virginia. And then you had the two of the guys from Semper Fi Fab Shop, Derek Breeden finished second, and I think Tanner Cloud finished third. So
Jake Knight, that's Trenton's brother, right?
No, that's actually Jake's from Page County.
Oh! I got the wrong family.
It's two different sets of Knight.
Gotcha. Okay. My mistake there. All the same, good win for him. You know, it's good to see Josh Wilkins up there in the top three. He shifted gears, got rid of all of his compact stuff, and went full size this year. Said he was coming back on a tear, and looks like it's paying some dividends for him.
Yeah, him and Kingery both. I mean, they actually in their heat. Bill Orndorff won his heat, and then Kingery and Wilkins won his heat. So all three of the Shenandoah County boys won all three of their heats, and then come back and finish second. Kingery finished second, and Wilkins finished third in the feature.
Between Bill Orndorff and David Klein down there in that part of Virginia, how many wins do you think they have combined?
Oh, gosh. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, because I believe that Bill has ran just as long, or maybe just a hair longer than what David has. I mean, I don't think David hasn't ran Page for a year or two. I know he was still running Shenandoah County a little bit, and I know he runs Rockingham a little bit. But, I mean, between them two, I'd say probably close to over 150 wins between the two.
Oh, I mean, easy. Two of the most dominant names by far and away in that neck of the woods, and they've done stuff in terms of their win counts and their streaks and their seasons of just dominance. I don't think that it'll be matched. The technology has come along to where you're still going to see people go up and down with the streaks, but the duration of their dominance, when you're talking about sequential wins of 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row, it's just it's everybody's got it in their states and in their regions and stuff like that. But in that part of Virginia, man, there's two names at the top of the heap: Bill Orndorff and David Klein.
Yeah, and actually, Bill Orndorff, if I remember right, I think he actually won 2 weekends ago at Rockingham. I think he won the stock heat at Rockingham 2 weeks ago. So
wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Last year he went on a tear through the month of August, and I think he ended up picking, I want to say maybe he got Winchester in there as well, and just ran the table. This year, maybe it was last year or the year before.
Yeah, I think the way I understand it, I think Wilkins and Kingery both are actually running Woodstock. Soldier Sons are actually running Woodstock this year for tonight and tomorrow night.
Okay.
So I think they're bringing cars back to Woodstock tonight too. So
gotcha. Yeah, there were some changes going on over there with where Cras in the Valley was being held. That's at a different location now, and if I understand everything fully up to speed, then the fair has taken back over the Fair Derby, right? Or is the
there was a conflict of the rent of how much that the fair board wanted to charge JPG Cohen on per night.
Yeah.
For all three sets, the fair, spring chaos, and fall chaos.
Right.
They actually had their first show for the spring chaos at Clearbrook this year, and from what I understand, it was a pretty good show. But I think just the track conditions were a little bit rough. But I mean, being it was a big show, it was still a pretty good turnout.
The track conditions in the spring, wherever you go this year, I'm willing to give a mulligan on it because there was so much rain, so many different places. Those dirt tracks had heaves and stuff in them that no matter how much work you put into them, you weren't going to get it perfect. It just wasn't gonna happen. So the first year at a new facility, they gotta feel their way through that. That is a minor blip on the radar for that show. And then they got the fall show coming up. I'm sure they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, if I remember right, didn't hear back last year before last, didn't they have a rut or something up at Woodstock to the end of one of the mod cars ended up getting stuck in?
Yeah, right. Brian Schumann got stuck in some quagmire there on the edge of the track, and they tried to get the track as prepped as best as they could, and he's got 7 skins on that car that he was running, and I've never seen that car take a dent. It's got so much metal on the outside of it, which, I mean, of course we say in jest. I don't know how extravagant the car was.
Speaking of mod cars, if you know anyone that wants to spend a good amount of money, Mark Wolf is actually trying to sell his mule skinner car for $8,000.
Really?
Yeah, he actually put it up on Facebook the other day for sale for $8,000. Fully set up, everything goes with it.
I didn't catch that. Is that the one that's got the crazy spacers in the front?
Yeah, that's the oldest. It's got the chrome brick front end.
Right.
And then I think it's got a Chrysler Imperial. It's almost built as much as what the Frankenstein car was. I mean,
right.
Just having everything and anything added to it.
just keep pouring stuff into it. I read that Sean Okenauer's family welcomed another baby into the world.
Yeah, actually, I've seen that too. Actually, we did too on July 17th. We welcomed the little girl.
So I don't anticipate we'll be seeing him in the fall at Cras in the Valley.
Yeah, I hope so.
Does he still have that wagon kicking around?
As far as I know, he does. I talked to him here probably close to about a couple months ago on Facebook, and he said he still had it. He said there was a couple things that he was trying to get fixed on it, to where I guess something wouldn't break or something. I said I think he had trouble with that gas tank the last time he drove it.
Well, it's because the car was so hard, nothing would move.
I know, exactly. Yeah. I tell you what, though, if Mark put his car against his car, I'll tell you what, I don't know which one would be in first.
It'd be fun to find out.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
It'd be Concussion City, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
What else have you got planned for this year?
Just like I said, Sergeant Sons has the 2 shows. This one has the shows today and tomorrow at Woodstock, and then JPG has the shows at Clearbrook this year. That's really about the only things I know of.
Let's bring it back around to this Power Wheels thing, and as that's grown, you guys it was some tough sledding to get that up and on its feet. If I remember right, there was some pushback on that happening, but now it seems like it's pretty welcomed.
Well, actually, this year we had back in the end of last year, back before we started running it, before we were going to do it this year, there was something going on about how they wanted us to do an entry fee.
Right.
And as far as I know, we're the only Powerball Derby around the Shenandoah Valley that does a free entry fee. We don't do an entry fee.
Mm-hmm.
So they were trying to do an entry fee, and of course, like I said, we're known for not doing entry fees. So I was like, man, I don't want to do an entry fee, being this will be the 3rd year and everything, and everybody knows we're not doing entry fees. So I mean, it's like it was a back and forth, and they finally eventually said, hey, we like everything what they're doing. They're having a kid come, a bunch of kids come. Let's have them where they don't do it, and it should be. So that was a good thing.
I'm glad that worked out. You doing anything like with the balloons on the Power Wheels cars so that they know when people are in, when people are out, anything like that?
What is it again? I'm losing it.
A couple of the Power Wheel derbies that we've been to, in order to get the kids more familiar with driving in a demolition derby event, they have fixed balloons to the four corners of the car. There's one on the front, one on the side, one on the back, and one on the passenger side too. And as the derby goes on, the balloons get popped. If you're running out of balloons, then you're out. Then you go to a consolation round, or if you have two balloons left, you go to the feature and you get to add one balloon back. So if you're down to one, you can only go out with two. If you had two, you can go out there with three. And it sort of teaches the kids how to drive with a purpose rather than just the event being a time filler. It's serving a greater purpose for.
Yeah, we actually do it right before the big derby starts.
Right.
So I actually had someone make a mention of that this year.
Okay.
Like with our time frame, we only have like a half-hour time frame between the time that we start our derby and when the big derby starts for Sergeant Sons.
Right.
So we just do it where they just rerun for like 10 or 15 minutes and then let them hit and everything, and then we do a race at the end, and then we do like a first, second, third for a race, and then we do a Mad Dog Trip.
Sure. Yeah, that's the same way that they've done it with JPG. And I always like that format because they got to knock around for a little while, and then even though it comes down to a drag race, at least they still walk away having crowned a winner, so to say. There's a little bit of closure to it versus just banging around for 25 minutes or whatever, and then everybody gets their goodie bag and heads on back to the pits.
Yeah,
I was like that. Have you found yourself having to put more and more explicit rules in place for your Power Wheels so that people aren't showing up with lawn tractor motor or lawn tractor batteries in them?
The only really thing that we've changed, with the kind of like third clay mixture designer down in Luray,
mm-hmm.
we let them run like self tappers and tires to get more traction.
Okay.
But more or less, everything's just more or less like a bone stock build most of the time.
Right. Well, that's good. We've seen some overzealous parents before do a bunch of mods to the electronics or run a dual battery setup or something like that and almost light their children's backsides on fire when stuff shorts out, and it's never a good day when you're lighting an 8-year-old on fire,
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I back here a couple of years ago, I seen a guy online, I think it was We Crashed, have a Power Wheels set up. His tire probably wasn't the size of like a small basketball,
right?
Like round wise, and he had it fully set up and had it like for sale for like I say probably $600-700.
Cheapers.
he had it tilted. It would run like 45 miles an hour. It was crazy.
It's probably Dustin Anderson's from up in Minnesota. He likes to get carried away with stuff. Awesome. So
I hate to run, but I'm here at work, so.
I understand, man. I appreciate you coming on and telling us a little bit about what's happening down there in the Shenandoah Valley. Keep in touch and let us know what's going on as we get closer to the spring, okay?
I will do, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on.
Okay.
Justin Smith checking in for a few minutes. We'll let you know what Smash It's up to here in a minute as we get Patrick Dellis on the phone. Smash It Demolition Derbies is still busy. Still kicking. They had a little bit of a reprieve on the back half of this week before they get into their Labor Day activities. We're going to be seeing them at the Stark County Fair for a couple days. That's in Canton, Ohio. 7 o'clock start time on September the 1st. That's the Smash It Leaf class, the mini cars, the full-size truck, stock wire class, the Power Wheels. September the 2nd, they're back there at Stark County again. 4 o'clock start this time. Smash It Leaf class, compacts, compact truck, stock wire class, and the Power Wheels. September the 2nd is the Hancock County Fair in Findlay, Ohio. 3 o'clock start time on September 2nd. Another one of those doubleheaders for Smash It. 80s and newer pro stocks, the street stocks, compact trucks, all on the docket. And then September the 3rd, Washington County Fair in Marietta, Ohio. 7 o'clock start for the Smash It Leaf class, the street stocks, the compacts, and the Power Wheels. Additional details, ticketing information, etc. available online at smashitderby.com. So, without any further ado, we had a little bit of a recap on what's happening down there in the Shenandoah Valley, and now we've got the one and only Patrick Dellis joining us on the phone. So the big question is, Patrick, are you going to go down for Chaos in the Valley or not?
I'm working on the logistics right now. It looks like it's going to happen. I'd like to.
You need to go there at least once, no matter where they have it.
I keep saying. Devin had gotten a hold of me last night and said that Taco was trying to talk him into it, and then I was like, well, I do have a really clean wagon. And then it's just kind of evolved all day into me going, hopefully.
What kind of wagon?
Accord.
Yeah.
97.
That's
I like the newer ones.
The W bodies are the go-to down there, and then you've got some of the Kibblers and some of that group that still run a lot of Corsicas. That's going back a couple years, but the Corsicas were good. The Corsicas were good in their day, and then people discovered the W bodies. Some of those guys have stuck with the Corsicas. But you also get some of that off the beaten path stuff that holds up really well with the rule set that they're allowed to use. We see some Escorts do well. Some of the the ZX2s or X2Zs or something like that that Ford released. So bring that wagon down. You're gonna love it.
I'm hoping so. It seems to be the bigger the show this year, the better I'm doing. Go big or go home.
Right. Just make sure you're back in time to get to San Filippo.
Oh, definitely. I think San Filippo's, isn't it before it?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think it is. You're right, because it's the fair comes first, and then we've got that later on. Yeah, so yeah, you're right.
I think I'm going to drag my leftover from Lowville down there. I can't kill it.
Really?
Yeah, it's still straight in the front. I'm going to plate race it this weekend and see if I can kill it on the track. If not, it'll go down there.
What did you build for Lowville?
I had a 95 Honda Accord that I took. 5-speed. I put a stage 3 clutch in it. Really liked it, actually. I think that might be something I start running more. But I've had really good luck with the automatics, too.
Right.
I got one train, I got 9 runs on it. The bell housing's chained together.
What did Dan bring? Dan Bolton brought a car down there to one of the Cast in the Valley events when it was at the Shenandoah County Fairgrounds in Woodstock. Was it a Camry or was it a Civic?
He runs Camry, so I'd imagine it probably would have been.
I can't remember now.
I don't know. That's good to know, though. I've been trying to find somebody that's actually ran it so I can talk to them about the rules, because they're pretty plain Jane. There's not a whole lot you can do.
No, it's we can get you some contacts for down there too. Josh Wilkins would be a great resource to ask about how to build for the compacts.
He actually commented on one of them.
He commented on one of your posts?
Yeah. He told me that, what the hell did he say? Something about, I need to bring more than an Accord down there, or more than a Honda.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like a challenge.
Josh is a really, really good dude. He's built the raffle cars down there a bunch of different times for JPG Towing, who oversee Chaos in the Valley.
We pitted next to them at Bash last year, and we got along with them great. They're a great group of guys. Yep. That whole crew.
Yeah, we were talking with Justin a few minutes ago. He has sold out of his compacts and got into the full-size stuff, but he didn't sell his library of knowledge. He can give you some direction on what to do down there. Joe Armstrong is another good contact. Like I said, any of the Kibblers, you can get a hold of them. And then Sean Gokenauer or Justin Smith can give you some more names of some of the folks to contact down there. It's a pretty good group of guys down there.
Sweet. I can't wait. Actually, we just found a babysitter. The old lady's waving me, telling me we're good to go.
Yeah.
So looks like it's going to
happen. I'm glad to hear that. You enjoyed Bash for Cash, right?
Oh my God, I loved it. I look forward to that every year now that we've gone. And I don't know, a few years back I was sitting not in a good spot in life, and I was like, man, I'd really love to run that down there. And then here we are, 2 years later, a Mad Dog, and moving up in the Derby world.
Right. The atmosphere is very similar, where everybody's more or less getting along. And one of the nice things that Dan said from his trip down to Cass in the Valley was he didn't know anybody, so he didn't have to worry about hurting feelings or ruining friendships.
That's what I said. I was talking to a friend about it. I'm like, I won't know anybody on the track. That's perfect for my, as you say, wild man mentality.
Yes.
It's nice to know that you don't have, look at Bash with my brother. I ran into him there and kind of screwed him.
Yeah.
It sucks knowing people out on the track, and you feel bad.
Yeah, that was a great kill shot if it was anybody but your brother.
Yeah, poor guy. Hopefully, we're gonna set him up with a cradle next year. He'll be doing a little better, hopefully.
Should be. So I assume that's fair to assume that you're gonna go back to Bash for Cash next year.
Oh, definitely. I wouldn't miss it.
What else you got planned in terms of travel? I mean, you're branching out a little bit more here and there. There's plenty of options in Kentucky, some of the biggest shows in the Midwest. We've got some giant shows here that you've been a part of for since their inception, and you're branching out, going down to Virginia for Cras in the Valley this year. Any likelihood that we're going to see you pop up someplace like Las Vegas or down in Florida for some of these early season shows? White Pine, Tennessee's coming up in December too.
I'm going to take a car, but we're definitely talking about going down this spring to watch. Devin and Chrissy told us how good of a time they had and broke it down for us. And I think I've never been out west, and neither has the old lady. So it'd be something. She's never traveled so much since she's been with me. So it's pretty cool, actually. I mean, I like going. It's nothing to travel 3 hours for us south to run a show when I got one 5 minutes down the road here. I don't know, the atmosphere, like you said. It's better. Everybody's out to help everybody.
You have to get together with Danny Ogden and find some place to go in Utah sometime. If you've never been out west, it's like nothing else.
I bought a few tickets for that raffle car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking specifically, you need to get into that greater Salt Lake area in Utah where you see the mountains in the background and you can see the lake and stuff. There's nothing quite like being in Salt Lake City in May or in June, and you've got the Rocky Mountains out there, and there's still snow caps on top of the mountains, and there's people water skiing in the lake.
That'd be nuts.
It's pretty cool to get out and see all that.
The stuff you see when...
Go ahead.
I ain't telling you, can throw a rock from one side to the other. I fire up my derby car, everybody down the road hears it.
You should think about trying to get out to Winter Slam too. That's an awesome show in February. It'd be tough for you to put a car together, but to get out there to that's very much your driving style. Those guys go wide open, end to end. It's a 30-car compact feature, and it's usually the longest one on the track, and it only takes about a half hour.
Yeah, that reminds me of Brookfield. That was always my favorite track. Now that Kings aren't doing it, I don't know. I don't think it's the same.
It remains to be seen what happens with Wheel Days. We wish the fair the best and make sure that they can stay viable. It's never good to lose a derby, but John and his family had a good thing going with Brookfield Wheel Days and that derby. It had a legacy to it, and hopefully that's not lost. I see John every Sunday over at Utica Rome, and he's always working on something. So if you don't want to go back to Wheel Days, I guess maybe you just have to give it some time and wait for his announcements to come out as they fall.
Yeah, I actually just seen him Saturday. I went up to Fulton and watched. Regretted not taking a car, like always.
Right.
That's how it goes, though.
Is the Honda wagon that much better than everything else?
Honestly, it depends on the rules. Like, if you got a stock set of rules, then yeah. But if you got, like, bash rules, I really think not. A sedan's just as good. Right. It all depends what you can do with your fuel cell protector, and if you can run a rear bar, and, all that kind of stuff. The front ends are the same. Any Honda, I don't know. I've had the same luck with all the Honda front ends. As long as I can keep the strut tower straight, I'm good.
Have you ever messed around with any of the rear-wheel drive compact stuff?
My little brother tried. That was our first run-in with him.
Your little brother did what?
I got everything into my Honda, so I'd hate to switch everything over, but it's been talked about.
Your little brother did what? The phone cut out.
He ran a Mustang at Bash there 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But it was severely underbuilt. Yeah. We didn't know what we were doing yet.
Right.
Well, I wouldn't say we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what Bash was about.
Sure.
I mean, it's kind of a culture shock coming from up here to go down there.
Yeah, I can see that. We don't have anything quite like that with the caliber of build, with the caliber of show, with all of it front to back. You know, it's a very different world out there than it is. You know, I don't know if I've ever come across anybody making the comparison between Bash for Cash and some place like Wheel Days. Nothing against either show. It's just not the same.
Wheel Days is what really opened my eyes. Actually, Chad Winnie, he built that Imperial there, I think 3 or 4 years ago. And I watched him just tear it up out there. And I said, next year I'm building one. I'm coming down here. Because all we ran is Louisville and Boonville. And them are, you know, stock shows. You can't even mount a bumper on them or anything like that.
Right. And how did that go?
Just stars are the limit. We've been, I don't know. I like the build shows better.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could build a car in, you know, 8 hours. My meltdown car I built in 7 hours.
It's like when we talked to...
You see it back after you build it, you're like, all right, I built that. And then you go out and you win with it. You're like, holy shit.
Right.
Maybe there's something here, you know?
That's like when we talk about Jake Sherman when he does his W body. He says he can build one in 3 to 4 hours, plus the fine tuning. He might get as high as 6, you know, for some of the stock shows, and they hold up like they're tanks.
Yeah. I mean, the Hondas, everybody's picky about how clean they are, but I mean, that one I took down to Bass was pretty rotted. I had a couple spots that I patched in the back, and then the rockers were completely gone on the driver's side.
Well, you can't plate stuff that's not rusty, right?
No. You can cut it all out.
Awesome. So
well, I got my Bass car for next year already, and it's like a 15 out of 10 clean. I don't think it's ever seen salt.
What's the car choice there?
Oh, it's a 97 Accord, another one.
Mm-hmm. You don't say.
This one's sedan like last year.
Right.
I was going to take the wagon down, but I don't know, the rules kind of lean better towards the sedan for me.
Yeah, I don't think the Honda wagon is what you want to take there. I mean, it's sort of a AMC Lumina show, and you know the Camrys, the Avalons, those start creeping in there too, and I don't think the wagon is what you want to do around here though. I mean, look at what Andy Vona's done in those wagons.
Oh my God, he's got like 9 runs on. Or at least it seems like that many.
Right, it's got 9 runs on it and 10 wins. You know.
Yeah, I think his girlfriend won it too.
It's possible. I don't remember for sure.
Yeah, she won Queen's class last year at San Filippo, I believe.
It's not good when they all start to run together like this. I can't remember. I'll take your word for it. I can't remember.
I'm curious to see how this plays out. Six grand's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money.
It seems like it was a smaller show too, but I think it's going to blow up this year by the sounds of it.
Why wouldn't it? You know, it's a
if
whole.
There's 20 cars or more that they're going to do a feature format. Well, I was kind of thinking that 20 is not many at all.
No.
So they're thinking that they're not even going to get that many. Jeez.
I think the money's going to draw cars out. I think they'll be just fine with that.
Well, I'm coming 7 hours and 5 minutes. Devin, if he comes, is going to be 7 hours. I know a couple other guys up here that are thinking about it. They're 7 hours too.
Right. You're going to go all the way down there, and it's going to be like driving at home. You're going to know everybody again.
I know. It'll suck, but when you go out of town, though, it's kind of different too. Because then I don't know. New York guys kind of stick together for the most part, or at least I've seen that. Somebody
that you can't stand at home is now the guy you're pitting next to and you're running with on the track.
Yep,
when you go out of town.
Exactly. It works out that way sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
I don't really have too many rivals, though. Everybody seems to love us.
Because you're wild, man. It's that mentality.
Yeah, the big grin. Everybody loves that grin.
It's true. It's true. You can see it from halfway across the track.
I just have fun out there. I really do. I mean, this will be the first show that I'm really aiming to try to do good. But most of the time, I just go out there to junk. We don't even care. It's not a good night unless you're struggling loading it.
Trying to track down some information here as we get closer. Let's see. Yep. So again, the Derby that Patrick is talking about going down to is scheduled for October the 19th. at the Stonewall Ruritan Fairgrounds in Clearbrook, Virginia, October the 19th. Again, the 70 stock paying $2,000 to win, the 80 stock paying $2,000 to win, World Class paying $2,000 to win, Compacts paying $2,000 to win. That was the spring payouts. My mistake. The fall shows here for the fall shows. 70s class is paying $3,000 to win. The 80s class paying $3,000 to win. World Class paying $2,000 to win. Compacts paying $6,000 to win. They've also got an extreme class paying $1,500 to win down there as well. So $6,000 on the line at the Fall Chaos in the Valley show. Again, that is going to be October 19th at the Stonewall Ruritan grounds in Clearbrook, Virginia. Looking forward to that one getting here. I'm glad you made the decision to go. You're gonna love it down there.
I can't wait. I was just talking to lady, I'm gonna have to find a mask that's close to Halloween so I can wear a mask out there too.
Then you're gonna cover up the smile. You don't want to do that.
Festivities.
Don't do that. You'll cover up the grin. Everybody wants to see the grin.
Yeah.
Well, man, is there anybody that you wanted to thank? I know you got a lot of family ties to Demolition Derby. You got a lot of friends out in that neck of the woods. Anybody that you wanted to make mention of before we let you go?
My parents and my girlfriend and my brother, definitely. They're kind of behind me, number one. As a lot of people know, I have a trailer. I don't even have a truck. So in the show sometimes is a struggle. I rely on family quite a bit. I just picked up a new sponsor, CBR Customs. He helps me out, cutting plates and all sorts of stuff.
Nice.
But Mad Dog Motorsports, they are behind me 100% wherever I go. Wherever we're running a team show with them was a real blast this year. I can't wait for next year. Something about the Canadians, man. I'm close enough to Canada, but I've never been there.
Right. How many? I didn't even stop to think about this. We were talking earlier. How many derbies, counting what's forthcoming in October? How many derbies are you going to have competed in this year?
I think I'm at 6 or 7 now. Yeah, if Adrian puts on that Junkyard Bash, I wouldn't miss that.
Right.
And San Filippo and Chaos, that's at least 3 more. If I can throw a car together for AIS this weekend, that'll be 4 more. So I'll probably round out about 10, 9 or 10, I'd say.
And just in talking now, it sounds like you're going to be somewhere around 10 or a dozen for next year too.
Yeah, it grows every year. I think my first year I ran a bunch of bone stock shows, and we did 13. I haven't quite caught that number yet. But.
Right. Next year will be it. You'll be following all of Gully's shows. You'll be doing all that stuff. And you're going to be traveling all over the place, having cars.
I like the championship idea he's come up with, and I'm really thinking about tagging along for it.
Right.
They don't do a New York City championship. At least they don't up here anymore.
No. There's that's got some traction. It's going to be good. And before long, you're going to be in England, just like Brandon was.
I would love to go out there. I wouldn't actually when that English guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but Mark, yeah, he was talking about it. I messaged Gully right up. I was like, I want to be one of the 12. I don't know if it'll happen, but it'd be I don't know, it'd be insane.
Go out there and be a wild man.
Oh my God. I don't know if can they find a Honda out there for me?
Can you believe that they like wreck Jaguars and BMWs like it's not a big deal?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That just blows my mind.
He was telling me, I sat in Norwich when I went down there. Me and Dad sat down and talked to him.
Yeah.
He was telling us some of the stuff they do to the banger cars and everything.
It's nuts, isn't it?
Crazy.
Brandon's talking about going out there in the spring for a 4x4 SUV banger class, and they leave the four-wheel drive engaged.
That would be fun.
It's going to turn into Monster Jam. There's going to be slap wheelies and pirouettes. It's going to be nuts.
That would be neat to see.
It would be. Start saving your pennies. Start scrapping out all those Hondas, and you'll have enough money you can buy a flight, and you'll be over there in no time.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I don't know. I haven't scrapped one in a while. Prices are so low.
Just
trade them off for other ones.
Right? I figured this.
2 for 1. 2 junk ones for a good one.
Right? Well, man, I wish you the best at Chaos in the Valley. October the 19th coming up. Good luck down there. Let us know how you make out, and keep us posted as things go over the course of the winter if you start looking to do any traveling in the spring.
All right. Thanks for the call.
For sure. I appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good night.
See you later, Pat. It was Patrick Dellis getting ready to go down to Cras in the Valley. Excited to hear that. He's going to love it down there. It's fits his driving style. It's just wide open, just chaos front to back, and it's not silly chaos. They're smart drivers down there. They just do all their precision from a half track away. I think we've covered everything. Again, Jeremy Spanbaugh and Ron McClung coming up with wins on the weekend. Big thanks to Brandon making time for us from over there in England to call in. He was 11:30 local time. It was only about 6:30 here. Brandon Thomas, we talked to Justin Smith, and then Patrick Dellis coming on the show. That's going to do it for this one. We're going to be delayed next week in lieu of Labor Day. I think we got a birthday party set up for Monday as well, so I'm not going to be able to make it in on Monday, Labor Day, but then Tuesday, first day of school, and then we'll be back in here to talk a little bit about more Demolition Derby stuff here on the Crash Course. We're going to see everybody next time. That's going to do it for 287. It's in the books. We'll see you next time.
Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.